This is Group E of the StarCastTV Star League Season 3. An interesting group: Shine, Movie, Scan, and Hyun. Let's take a look at our groups that we've gotten through so far. We, of course, have gotten through 4 groups. We have 4 more remaining. Group F, Hero, Mighty, JYJ, Hyun. Group G, Mini, Cop, Gameo, YSC. Group H, Royal, Backho, Ample, and Noob. So still a lot of star-studded players in the remaining groups. A couple of people that we haven't seen in a while. For example, Mighty, Gameo, and Backho, who we haven't really seen ever. In fact, I don't remember seeing him play ever since Remastered come out. So looking very forward to seeing his games today. But today we've got Shine, Movie, Scan, and Hyun. Let's look at today's matchups. Our first match should be Shine versus Movie, and then Scan versus Hyun. So let's just get straight into it. It's going to be a ZVP, and I think we're going to be going into Apocalypse maybe first. All right, in the top right, we do have Movie, and in the bottom left, we do have Shine. And this is Troy, by the way, not Apocalypse. I don't know how the hell this map gets through, but this is going to be our map, and it's best of 1, so that's pretty crazy. Now, we saw Shine go pretty far last season. He consistently does well in tournaments, but for our Protoss player, I haven't seen Movie play in quite a while. Movie, he was one of the all-stars for CJ Entus a long time ago. He made it into the OSL finals one time, got second, I think, versus Flash. But since then, I don't remember seeing Movie get really the results that he's been looking for. Like I was saying, he was definitely an all-star on CJ Entus. I don't know how to word this in a nice way, but Movie, since Remastered has come out, he hasn't really, I think, transferred his skills into Remastered that well. Of course, he's still a high-level player and still a pro, but I think a lot of players have caught up to him. I think this is going to be a tough group for him to make out of. And when he was very strong back in the old days, I remember he was winning with a lot of really solid strategies. For example, the one strategy I always remember was his 5-gate goon versus Jaedong on Heartbreak Ridge. So I think in order for him to make it out of this group, he's going to need to come up with builds like that. Now, as I say that, look at this. It's a 2-gate on 1 base. So already we're starting to see the strategies that I was talking about. Now, Shine, the last time we saw him play Troy on this map, we saw a 5-pool versus Snow, and that ended up being an hour-long game. Now, as epic as that game was, please no hour-long game this time. That was a nightmare to cast, especially when it's an island map where there's not so much action going on. But this is going to be tough to hold a 2-gate. He does open with a 9-pool first, with speed, so he will have the capability to surround these zealots as they come out. Now the question for me really is, how many zealots is this going to be? Is he going to go into tech? Is he going to follow up with, like a fast Reaver play? Or is the 2-gate simply for him to get his Nexus up? Now the drone goes in, and I've talked about this before. I call that scout a non-scouting scout. He essentially went in, saw the 2-gate, did not confirm whether there's gas or not. So now he doesn't know if it's going to be an expansion. He doesn't know if he's getting all in. He doesn't know really that much at all other than it's a 2-gate. Now the Lings get good surface area here. Really good surface area on the bottom zealot in particular, and he's going to take down 2 of them, and already Lings are in the base. This is really ugly already. One probe gets taken down. Movie's already in trouble. This is going horrible for him. He has no map presence at all. He lost 2 zealots, so he can't even counter. Please don't lose a third. Okay, he almost lost a third probe. He's already almost even in workers, which is not great. That zealot already gets taken down to more than halfway, and it is going to be a tech play. Cybernetics coming in, but Zerg sees it. Zerg is probably going to start droning pretty soon. I think he has enough lings to keep Protoss back, and also with Movie losing the probe, he has no idea if he's getting ling all in. That means he's most likely not going to move out for a while. Probably not going to move out until he has at least like 7 to 9 zealots. So overall, I think Shine is in a really, really dominant position right now. In fact, we do see a couple more drones being built. He's got his third hatch coming down in his main. And because it's not at another base, I think that this is going to be a high draw in. That's a Stargate. I'm really worried for Movie here. I don't think that this is going to work out that well for him. Like, yes, the lair is really slow. In fact, there's no lair. But how's he going to stop mass Hydras? He doesn't have Reaver. He doesn't have an overwhelming amount of gateways. That probe, what's it going to go build? Okay, pylon. I was like, there's no way he's expanding, but lings get in after the zealots move out. And now Movie has 5 zealots out onto the field, but he's going to have to deal with these 2 lings in his base. Zerg is going to have 3 hatch production pretty soon. Is going to have a sunken colony up in just a second also. And I think that Shine's just going to hold this very easily, and it's going to be 1 base Protoss versus 3 hatch Zerg with an expansion. Yeah, I don't... Okay, well, the sunken's going to get taken down before completed. Maybe Movie can hit before... Well, the sunken still did a decent amount of damage. Not a lot, but enough. And now all of these zealots are pretty weak. They're all half health. They've lost all their shields. But Movie is on the move here. Can he get in here before there's a critical mass of lings? Well, that zealot gets taken down. Look at Shine's micro. Doing a really good job to bring the zealots back. Not letting them get into the mineral line. Now he's going to eliminate that zealot. And there's really not that much at the natural. So to me, this looks like a hold. I don't see any overlords anywhere either, so I don't think the Corsairs are going to get any damage done. Okay, zealots do get into a pretty nice position right there. And the zealots at the choke, okay, never mind, it's not in a great position right now, does get rid of that army right there. And behind this, what's Movie up to? I don't see a Nexus. He has a lot of gas, so it's not like he put down a Robo and to, like, follow up with mass Zealot, Reaver, Corsair or something along those lines. He does have a really good worker count though, 28, and he did critically supply block Zerg heavily. Now there's the Robo. I wish that he had built this like during that attack instead of just starting it right now. Based on all the damage he's done, it could have been a really solid follow-up, but now that it's so late, I feel like Zerg's probably going to recover before the Reaver gets out. Another Overlord dies, so actually what looked like a decent hold from Shine ends up being pretty much a catastrophe because of how many Overlords he's lost. Cannon goes up. Not too sure about the reason for the cannon. These lings get into the main again, take down another probe, but not the biggest of losses since he already has basically 30 workers. Another probe, man. These lings are doing so much damage, and there's not even that many. He needs to fix his gas mining now. There's only 2 on gas. Looks like it's going to eventually get taken down, and Movie is coming in once again for another attack. It's 6 Zealots, 1 Dragoon. There's a lot of Hydras here, though, but I don't think the Hydras are going to beat this army. Yeah, there's a lot of Zealots. Okay, well, now they're going to win. It's 10 Hydras. Well, they're going to win if they end up shooting. Okay, focuses down that Zealot. That Zealot's going to get focused down. Look at the focus fire, like completely only target firing 1 unit at a time. Okay, those got melted. And now, Movie is in a really kind of iffy situation. He lost the majority of his army, despite having the shuttle and potentially Reaver coming out pretty soon. He just threw it away. Now he goes into a 3rd gate. I mean, this build order is kind of all over the place. Still no natural for him. He does have the ability to take the island, which is great, and the Corsair is still alive, still being annoying. But now, Zerg can lock Protoss in. He can take down the assimilators. Oh, but he backs off. I'm surprised at all the damage just one single Corsair has done. It's pretty crazy that it's done this much damage. He may even get another Overlord. Is it 2-hit? Yep, there it goes. Finally goes down. And Zealot is going to... Wait, what's going on? Why was there a transfer from the main? Did I miss something? I'm kind of confused about that transfer. Now he's undersaturated in the main. He's not necessarily oversaturated in the natural, but pretty weird to just transfer them over there. Now he transfers half of them back. I don't know, did the Zealot sneak in and I missed it? But either way, that counterattack did keep the Hydras back, which means that the assimilators were never taken down. And now Movie can get his natural up and running. He's got a 25 supply lead. Zerg has evened up the econ in terms of worker count. So he's got big time macro coming pretty soon. But right now he's pretty vulnerable because he only has 10 supply in army. He's got his Spire coming. So we know what the play is. It's going to be Mutilus. You can see it because he's banking up so much gas. But the Spire is still not complete just yet. So this Reaver could do insane damage. Where are the Hydras? Okay, there's some of them. Alright, he takes down a couple of drones. Not really the biggest of deals. Does force a drone pull, but overall, I don't think that was, really that much damage. What is going to do a lot of damage, though, is this incoming Mutaplay. There's not any Corsairs anymore. There are 3 Gate Goon with the Reaver. But once the Mutilas come out, I mean, they're just going to mop up the floor with this army. The question is did he build enough Mutilas to actually engage? I think he did. He built at least 8. There's the Mutas. Yeah, he just needs to focus down the Dragoons. If he kills the Dragoons, he'll win. There we go. Sunken's done. Okay, now it all comes down to limiting the Reaver damage. Reaver is flying into the main. I know he has a second one right now. Looks like it's unloaded. I can see the Scarab went off. And will it connect? Oh, he just got so many kills under the drones. Down to 18. Scourge did not help out in that battle. So the Reaver's actually going to get away. And Movie's in a good spot right now. He's traded his army, but he's bought a lot of time. He knows what the follow-up is, so he should be able to build a lot of Corsairs by the time the Mutas get across the map. Maybe something like 2 or 3. Worker count is still down in the dumps for Shine. The shuttle not going to get taken down. And because he lost so many workers, he was never able to take his third base at mid-left. Another Reaver is going to die, but I think the damage was done at this point. Shine's eco is horrible right now. 14 workers versus 32. He really needs to get a lot of damage done. Okay, there we go. If he can get down this Reaver, that would be great. But Movie knows that, hey, your Mutas are out of position, so he's going to come in for another attack onto the main. Corsair's going to die. Cannon's going to die. But the Corsair did a lot of damage. So the Mutas are going to have to turn around. And Movie coming in once again. Okay, 2 Mutilas to take down that shuttle. Drone's going to run for their lives. Should be able to get away. Yes, he does. So a very expensive loss right there. Over 400 minerals gone in those 2 units. And this will alleviate a lot of the pressure. Now, my opinion is he needs to get rid of that assimilator, man. I mean, I cannot believe that is still alive after going for Hydras. It is just allowing this build order to come into fruition. And, really, Preuss should have never been able to get units out onto the map. Still no third base. He needs this hatch. Yep, it's going to go down right now. And Muta's still sharking for an opening. Going to find a cannon kill. Maybe a couple of Corsairs. Does he have +1 armor? I don't think he does. So the mutas do have to be careful. We know that Protoss has +1 weapon on his ground. I'm not too sure about his air. Well, I see a lot of orange moving across the map. I don't think those are Hydras. I think those are Lings and Mutas. Now, yeah, he needs to get rid of that assimilator. And Movie needs to he's not able to get it, so these units are now stuck. Now the only way out of his base with the Dragoons, I think, is with shuttles. But he has enough stuff out into the map now that this Goon Zealot Corsair Reaver timing should be really strong. He has his +1 armor power spike. Shine, I think, needs to get like 3 Sunkens. I can see he's got like a couple. Okay, there we go. He is building 3 more. So I don't think that this attack is going to work, but what Movie can do is potentially swoop around to mid-left, shut down that base, and then keep Zerg just on 2 bases, take his island, and then be on 3 base, and potentially just outscale Zerg. And that's exactly what he's doing. We can see that he was moving towards the left side. I guess he doesn't know that there's a base over there just yet. But instead, there's a probe in the center of the map. Maybe that's, selected with the Corsair group to kind of stack them up. There's the Reaver. I don't think there's enough Mutalisks to engage into this Goon army. The Mutas are still all the way across the map. A couple of Dragoons have died. Well, they need to not feed in here like this, because the Mutas, there's still 11 left over. Like, the real power of this army is the Goon and the Reaver. Well, I think that this is just going to get swallowed up. There goes the Reaver. There goes the shuttle. Oh my gosh. But the Corsairs coming in clutch. Remember, the Mutas don't have any armor, so they're very, very weak. There are 6 Corsairs. There's no +1 weapon on the Corsairs, though, but they still shred the Scourge. None of them connect. And I think Movie has actually done it here. He's just barely going to have enough on the ground to do damage, while the Corsairs obviously hold the line in the air. Look at how little DPS he has on the ground. 1 Zealot, 1 Goon, and a Probe. That is nuts. But the lack of the +1 armor really is what did Protoss or Zerg in. Another connection with the Scourge. He gets rid of 2 more Corsairs. Can he get any more? Thinking interception. Well, I thought he was going to get an interception, but doesn't get it. Ooh, he may... Nope. Ends up losing that hatch. I thought he was going to be able to take down another one of the Corsairs before then. Shine, look at his money. He has so much cash, but he has no gas. Absolutely none. So he can't afford to build any more Mutalisks. Meanwhile, even though Movie's mined out in his main and doesn't have a 3rd base, he's fine because he still has so much air superiority. It's hilarious that he literally has nothing on the ground. Finally, +1 armor kicks in, and there's, I guess, another shuttle. I'm assuming that was for a Reaver, but maybe not. Something got unloaded. I think that was a probe. Either way, Shine does have his mid-left base up and running. We'll transfer some drones over there. I mean, this is a weird game. This is one of the weirder ones I've seen in a while. 7 Corsairs, no +1 weapon on the air for him. So the Mutalisks are really, really strong right now that they've hit their +1 armor power spike. I think if Shine can just survive the next 3 or 4 minutes, he'll be in a good spot, because Movie's still no 3rd Nexus. I mean, look at his money. He has very little. I mean, he's hovering less than 100 minerals for a while now, as he spends another 100 right there. But I don't think Movie's going to wait to let the 3rd base get up and running. He's on the move once again. I'm going to guess that he has a Reaver in here. And the Corsair count is still really... Wow, it's 9 Corsairs. Okay, that's a smart move. He's going to take down the assimilators. That's really all he can do here. And I think he even canceled his natural. Yeah, he canceled his natural because he knows he can't hold it. There's way too much stuff in the air. Instead, he needs to just try and hold his main. That's exactly what he's going to do. Oh, the Corsairs, the Scourge. Wow, Scourge. They get a lot of connections, but the Corsair count was still too high. the Reaver unloads, but it loses the shuttle, and Shine is just holding on by the skin of his teeth, barely able to prevent disaster. Corsair count's still huge, takes down another Overlord. He's still losing quite a lot here. He's lost so many Corsairs to the Scourge, but he's still okay. He still needs to get a third baseman. Like, geez, desperately needs to build a Nexus. I mean, this is a Zerg. Zerg obviously has another base. Zerg is obviously not mined out in their main, so even though they don't have their natural, they're still on 2-base mining. He needs to get another base at some point. I also think that the natural, what does it have, like 7 patches compared to 9? Yeah, 7 patches. So, like, his econ is really, really bad. He needs to take the island. I'm surprised that he hasn't elevated a probe over there at this point because of how many Corsairs he has. It's not like the Meadows can just run across the map and kill it, right? Like, look how fast he's shredding these Scourge. Meanwhile, top left, I think that was a Reaver drop. Patry gets canceled. Another Corsair, look at that bounce shot off of the Nexus. Ends up taking down that Corsair, but looks like the Meadows, they overstepped. Take some big losses there. Shine, I'm kind of curious what he's going to do now. Okay, well, the answer to what he's going to do now is he's going to GG. And I think he GG'd because he has no way to get out onto the map. He's only on 2 gas mining with no way to get Hydras out there. And, you know, his main gas was going to be mined out. So, pure Muta is not going to win when you don't have a lot of gas. So, surprisingly, Movie gets a win there. I really do think Shine, if he killed the assimilators, it would have been a different game. But I could be wrong. Either way, though, Shine's going to be in the loser's bracket, and now Movie's going to be in the winner's bracket. So congrats to him. We're going to be going into our second match now, which is going to be Scan versus Hyun. I'm hoping that this is going to be a little more standard. Okay, so in the bottom left, we do have Hyun. And in the top left, it's the one and only, it's Scan. So this time around, we've got probably my favorite map right now, which is Radion. Standard map, big time macro map. I think it's a map that Zerg has the potential to hide a lot of bases. For example, Hyun could take bottom middle. He could take bottom right, you know, the standard place, but he could also get weird and try and take like mid left, for example. I think that's probably the least likely of the 3, but it's possible. I think more than likely, if he wants to do something crazy, like go crazy Zerg, you know, with the fast ultras, I think he'll take bottom middle, and that's a hard base to break open because of the high ground. Now for Scan, you know, there are certain players that you just know they're going to play bio. People or Terrans that come to mind that are just definitely bio players are Rush. He's someone that like 100% of the time goes bio. I don't think I even remember ever seeing him go 1-1-1. But Scan, on the other hand, I think he's a bit more balanced. In general, you're probably going to expect to see bio from him. But I think we could see a mech play, especially since we've been seeing Flash play some mech or delayed mech. But we'll have to wait and see, because this is actually Command Center first. And this game might be over. So just like that, we may just be going straight into our winner's match, because this was, I think, an overpool versus 14cc. Oh, 14cc on the high ground? Okay. Well, there's a possibility that this can be held now. If it was on the low ground, it's just an insta-GG when you see the Zerglings. But with it being on the high ground now, there is a world where Zerg could scout top left, not poke in all the way, turn around, and then all of a sudden, Terran's at a massive lead. There's also a chance that Terran cuts some workers here to put down a fast second Rax, and even though he'll have to buy some time, he could potentially get out 3 Marines somewhat quickly. So far, though, there's no second racks, and the fact that he put down a depot signals to me that there's not going to be a second racks. So really, what Terran is praying for right now is somehow Zerg doesn't find him first. And look at this. Zerg is going to go to top right. This is one of the reasons I don't like Overpool, at least this particular version. The 4-lings, I just don't understand what 4-lings do. It doesn't do a lot of damage. Terran can hold this with 2 Marines and like SCVs on the high ground. And now, with 4-lings that they didn't find Terran first, now Terran's going to get up a bunker, and he's going to hold with a 14cc opener. I think if you're going to go for a pool first build and only build 4-lings, I think 12 pool is the way to go. You've got a decent econ follow-up. You know, your whole build with a 12 pool is not to kill the opponent, right? So, I would have preferred that more than this. Because now Zerg's just all in. And Terran has one of the greediest, well, pretty much the greediest opener that they could have gotten away with. And now what do you do as Zerg to get back into this game? You're just... Okay, well, he has speed. Whoa! Good stutter step micro. Okay, actually, does Zerg just win here? Why didn't Terran build a bunker? I'm at a loss. And Terran still holds. I mean... It's hard for me to argue with pro play because they're clearly much better than I am, but I just don't understand this. Rush speed, went overpool, then didn't build a lot of lings. I just don't follow the logic. Now he's built a lot of lings, but I mean it's too late now because Terran's set up. Well, Zerg still has their Spire on the way, and Terran's build order has been disrupted quite a bit, so the Mutalisk still could do a lot of damage. Oh, that was a good catch. Catches that Marine, gonna catch that SCV. These lings are doing good damage now. Are they caught? I don't think they're actually caught yet. He's just gonna run into the main. Ooh, there we go. Good micro from Scan to prevent heavy losses. I would like to see, like, does he have his Academy built? Okay, he does. He has his eBay built, but he needs turrets being built right now, and it looks like he has not built them at all, as mutas are on the way, and this game's about to end. Scan, I guess, had his build order disrupted a little bit too long. These turrets are not going to complete. Now his Marines are, you know, no stem, no range, no medic, versus Mutalisk. And there's still one Ling here, which... What? He killed a Muta. Now there's not that many Mutas to do damage. Turret completes. And that Mutalisk almost died. By the way, Zerg is mega all in. If we look at the minimap, his natural has 0 drones mining minerals. This is a very weird game. I don't know how we got to this state. Now, Hyun is going to move into the back of the base, which is exactly where he needs to go, what he needs to do. There's no anti-air right now. The turret's going to get canceled, but there's only 5 Mutalisks. So even though this portion of the mineral line is going to get shut down, I don't think it really matters, as the Marines, even though they don't have stem, they still have a medic here. They still have the turret dealing damage from downtown. And now it's down to 3 Mutas with no Econ Zerg and turrets set up everywhere. Well, now they're stuck. Now they're not escaping. They're all going to die. They're all weak. The only way to escape is to go through the bunker. And he loses one. Almost lost another one. Well, Scan was in trouble in the beginning. Has survived. And now Hyun is mega dead. It's extremely low econ Zerg. No hatches. Versus 5 racks. +1. Terran has good econ. He's sitting at 31 workers. Terran knows that it was Mutas the whole time, so just now getting his scanners. And what do you do as Zerg to try and come back from this situation? Well, one, he needs to pull off of gas and needs to get his econ up and running. He's got enough Mutalisks, I think, to keep Terran at bay for now, but he really needs to ramp up his mineral income and get his production going. I actually don't think he can go lurkers here. I think the 5 racks is going to be too fast. Of course, he doesn't know that it's 5 racks, but I don't think he could go 5 racks here. But he needs to somehow get up bottom right. Probably just build like 2 Sunkens at his natural and at his 3rd base. But it doesn't look like Scan's going to allow that to happen, as he's now on the move himself. He's got, what, 15 Marine Medic? So decent amount of firepower with decent healing. I think he started his factory in his main. Gonna have his tech coming up pretty soon. And Zerg is still scrambling to just, get their 3rd hatch up. It's gonna complete in just a moment. I think he sent in a drone over there to immediately build a sunken colony. Okay, no he didn't. He sent it over there to mine more gas. I just don't think there's enough here. Terran has avoided the Mutalisk somehow. Still avoided the Mutalisk. And now what do you do as Zerg? You've got to deal with these units over on the right side. You've got to deal with the units coming from the natural at the same time. He's gotten rid of all the energy on the medic. So, if there's ever a time to attack, this is the time to go. But he doesn't know about the incoming attack on the natural. The Marines are doing good damage here. He's eliminated 2 of the Mutas. But I think, most likely, Scan is probably stimming with his other army. And now the Mutas have to scramble to get back. Yeah, he pulls his mineral or his drone line instantly. Oh, almost sniped that Mutalisk. Can he snipe this hatch? Okay, he's going to get rid of the lurkers. I think that's a smart move. And now Terran's on the move once again. He just has so much stuff with the 5 racks. Gets rid of the Hydrogen. That's fantastic. Now all Zerg can do is he has to build Mutalisks. Another Muta falls. Another one falls. Can he get another one? Gets another one. Gets another one. So he gets 4 out of the 11. And even though Zerg is going to hold this attack, it's just a relentless assault. Another one going down the bottom right. It's been unspotted. Now finally comes into vision. And yeah, I think Zerg realizes that I can't hold this, so he's going to counter. But he's countering into a 5 racks. With no Ling support, no Lurker support. This isn't going to work. I feel like we're going to see the GG in a second, especially since he lost his Hydrogen. It'd be different maybe if he had 5 Lurkers. But without anything, and with it just being mass Muta, this can't work. He's going to need a miracle. I think you got to go for it, Hyun. I mean, this is the best opportunity you're going to get. You know that half the army's out of position. You do have some Lings that can run by and help support you, but instead, he's not making the attack. He's built up 4 Sunkens. Okay. So he should be able to hold the attack at the natural, but he's not going to breach this. 6 Mutas now. Soon to be 5. Yeah, we're going to see GG in a second. There it is. So that's going to be Scan moving into the winners match. I really just don't get the build order from Zerg. I'm really not a fan of overpool 4 Lings. I just don't see what it accomplishes other than stopping an 8 racks, which you probably would have seen with the way his Overlord went. Either way, though, this does give us a Terran versus Protoss, so a new matchup. It's going to be Scan facing off versus Movie, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so here we go on Dark Origin. 2-player map with Movie in the top left. Meanwhile, in the bottom right, we do have Scan, and look at this. We are up to no good as Movie is sending out a probe across the map. Now, this is so fast that this is not going to be at his own natural. This is either going to be in the center or at the natural of Scan. I don't think that this is gas steel. This is too fast for gas steel. This is definitely going to be some type of proxy gate. Okay. So in the natural, but a little outside of it. And, you know, the common response to a proxy gate like this is to go 2 racks. But we'll see how Scan wants to respond. Some players don't like to get gas stolen, so sometimes they just cut their SCV and immediately build their gas, you know, unknowing that there's a gate at their natural. So hopefully Scan does not cut for this gas, because if he does, he's going to be in trouble. And there's that probe. And gas steal. Okay, that gas steal timing looked very normal to me. It didn't look like he built it too soon. It didn't look like he had built it too late. So if I was Scan here, I actually would not be suspecting that it's proxy gate. If he had built it at like 135, then it would be questionable. And the reason it's questionable is because Scan could have gone an 11 gas, and 11 gas hits before 135. But now Scan pulls an SCV, sees that, hey, there's a gateway at my natural, and this should be a second racks follow-up. In fact, I think it did just now go down at the bottom side of his command center. And I like the way he set up his barracks. He's got the racks at the top. He's got the depot on the right, so Zealots cannot go through the mineral line. And he can go in between the assimilator and the barracks. So overall, this is really good opener for Scan. I'm curious what movie's follow-up is going to be, because as I was stating in the beginning, I think in order for a movie to make it out of this group, it's going to be reliant on builders. I think if it goes mid and late game, I just don't think he's going to win. So, okay, and already the Zealot has really not done very much. Didn't get a single SCV kill, only got off 1 shot onto the Marine. He does still have the gas stolen, but the thing for me is there's no gas for movie in his main. I see... Okay, I thought I had saw like a forge or something, but that's not a forge, it's a pylon. So finally he gets another SCV there, but ooh, the SCVs are not bouncing well for Scan. But overall, oh, again, it doesn't bounce very well. Man, really unlucky. And he's going to go for a Nexus follow-up. Okay, this can be dangerous. Like, if Terran pulls, takes down the gate, and you don't have, like, a forge or something, 1 gate production is not going to save you. Critically, I noticed that the SCV's not on the map anymore, though. So he doesn't know that this is the actual follow-up. But if, for some reason, he did pull, which I think is possible, movie could be in trouble. Man, these SCVs bouncing are just really not in favor of Terran. Now, Protoss had an amazing engage right there as he took down 3 Marines and an SCV, and has forced, again, a lot of SCVs off the line. And with the non-stop Zealot being produced, I think movie has accomplished what he needed to accomplish. He's done a lot of damage to the Marine count. Protoss, or Terran, cannot pull across the map anymore. And I think actually with seeing a pylon at the natural, yeah, he must have gone forge. So Terran is in big time trouble. Also, Protoss can just save these Zealots. He doesn't have to engage anymore. Instead he goes. There's what, 5? Oh my gosh, he gets directly on top. Wow, this is a catastrophe for Scan. There's a lot of weak Zealots here, but they survive for a very long time. And movie may actually be able to beat Scan here. Like, I don't think he's going to win right now, but he has done so much damage. He's up a Nexus. He's up 4 workers. He's up tech. Okay, well, maybe he's not up tech because I see that the factory started, but he's going to have his cybernetics coming pretty soon. I also noticed there's an SCV stuck behind those depots. So nothing has gone well for Scan here. He still doesn't know what the follow-up is for Protoss. If Protoss went Citadel, the game's over. 1 base DT would have killed him. He has no detection, no eBay, no academy. I think Scan is going to 2-fact. Yep, there it is. Oh, and there is a Citadel. I guess movie recognizes, like, man, I did a ton of damage. The only way you can possibly win is to go for a timing. And if you don't, even if I do go DT, I can use the DT for map control and like go Arbiter or double expand. You know, he doesn't have to build a lot of fighting units. He can just use the lack of detection to get him an advantage. Now here comes Scan, but hello, there's cannons. Yeah, that ain't working, bro. So now Scan sees the bad news. He's down a base. He's all in. His factory's, like, not even done with the add-on. He has no tanks. You know, it'd be different if he had a tank right now, but he doesn't. Still no academy. Still no eBay. So even though this is going to be a late DT, one DT is going to win the game. As soon as he sees the blur, I expect a GG to come out. There's no SCV even on the low ground to build a command center. Okay, he's got an eBay coming, but how do you push? Well, that goon died. Not the greatest control there, but it doesn't really matter when you're in a position like this. I mean, he's up 10 workers. He's even got a robo coming. Well, there's the first tank. If he had a tank in position right now, and the ability to build turrets, I think it's possible he could push to victory, but I think at this point it's too late. The DT's going to be out any moment now. Like, literally within 5 seconds. Yeah, there it is as it pops out. No scanners. No turret set up. And that means Movie. I think this is best of 3, right? So he's going to go up 1-0 in the series. Does he see the blur? He missed it. Well, he's going to see it now as his Marine dies. We're going to see GG. Yep, immediate GG. That was really good usage of the Zealots. Of course, the SCVs bounced really poorly for Scan. Not everybody can have Flash SCV Micro, and it kind of just snowballed from there. So Movie is actually doing really well today. I was not expecting this, and he's now 1 game away from being qualified into the round of 16. So let's get into our next game. And once again, we are on Radeon. And this time we have Scan in the bottom right. And in the top left, we do have Movie. Now we just saw a Movie do, you know, like a... I don't know what to call it on Troy, because yes, it was a 1 base, but it wasn't all in. Like, he did end up taking a Nexus. And yes, last game was not an all-in because he did a Nexus into, you know, fast tech. But I would say that they were kind of cheesy-ish builds. Not really that cheesy, but kinda, right? So I think now that he's done this twice, you know, he may have the image of like, oh, he's just going to do it again from Scan's perspective. And because of that, I do hope Movie goes for a 12 Nexus this time. Not just because I see the spawns being cross-spawned and that Terran would not scout it, but because I do think Movie has a good image right now where it looks like he's going to cheese. And 12 Nexus would be, you know, the anti-cheese. And look at this. He is queuing up additional probes, so we could see it. There's the barracks for Scan. We'll see if he wants to 11 gas here or 12. Nope, it's going to be a 12, and he really boosted those SCVs. A 136, 12 gas. That's really fast. There's the 12 Nexus, and Scan is going to send out a somewhat quick... No, actually, it's not a quick scout at all. A somewhat late scout, actually. And will he cross-spawn or cross-scout? The answer is no. And unfortunately for Scan, going bottom left, he's probably going to end scout here, which means Movie's going to be found last. And Movie, just based on how he's been playing, I don't think this is going to be a double gate. Well, as I say that, there it is. I was going to say I don't think this is going to be a double gate. I think he would probably try and get away with murder here by going one gate tech, but not the case. We'll see how he wants to use this double gate because he hasn't been scouted just yet. He may just have built it in case he got quick scouted so that he has the option to build multiple zealots. But now that he hasn't gotten scouted, I think it's just going to be it's just going to be one. Either way, factory is about halfway done for scan. Gonna be completing in about 20 seconds. And we do see immediate cybernetics. Movie. Oh, he did queue up double zealot. So he's playing very safe here, making sure that he doesn't get busted. Despite having not been scouted, he still wants the double zealot. So to me, if you're going to still build double zealot when you're not getting scouted, I think he's going to cut a lot here, get up like 4 goons instantly, and then try and jump on the bunker. You know, 2 zealots, 4 goons can have a surprising amount of DPS, especially if Terran is not looking. And here come the 2 zealots across the map, and now Scan is going to know that, hey, this guy went double Nexus. SCB almost died, which would have been horrible. Okay, it's still bad. It's so low that he doesn't even want to come in and look to see what the follow-up is. It looks like he sent out... Oh, he's got a vulture. I'm like, man, that SCV is really fast out onto the map, but it's a vulture. But the Dragoon is going to be out in a... Nope, he built a 3rd zealot instead of Dragoon. Okay, there's the Dragoon. Wow, I don't think I've seen this before. 3 goons, or 3 zealots, and a goon? Interesting. He comes in again, and we'll get 1 probe, maybe 2. Okay, that's nice. Can he get a 3rd? No. But gets 2 probes. There's no... Oh, man, he totally forgot about those zealots. But good micro backwards, and he's going to not really take much damage here. Well, I think he's not going to take much damage here, as he still doesn't have a bunker. He's building vultures instead of a tank. And there's goons rallied across the map. This is gonna get weird. I don't know how many Marines are left over. Wow, he has no workers, man. Okay, there's the bunker. Okay, the vulture died. There's 1 vulture that did get out some mines, and he does get some good shots off there. So actually, that goon's gonna die. Okay, there's a hold. Okay, Scan is in an amazing position right now. He held the counter. He killed all the zealots. He killed all the dragoons. He did not go into tanks, so he didn't like cut eco to get out a heavy tech unit. Instead, he's gone for these cheap vultures. Still has control with the vultures. Robo's late. Protoss had 3 workers on the natural. Protoss is now going into not necessarily quick gas, but is going to be putting probes onto gas. I feel like this is just a dominant position for Scan. He does have a lot of gas also, so he could use all of that to just flood factories if he wanted, especially since he knows that Protoss built a lot of units in the beginning. So I would like to see that. But he may be worried that, you know, all this was like a diversion for him to be going like fast DT behind it. And look at that. Robo and Citadel coming up. So it may actually be a DT drop. However, Scan is on top of it as he's got his comsats coming up in just a second. Armory on the way also, basically done at this point. Terran also has mines set up at the 3rd base, so he knows that there's no fast 3rd nexus there. I don't think he's aware at top middle, but there's nothing there either. And it actually is going to be fast arbor. This is an interesting follow-up. Not sure that Movie has enough gas to make this move. Like, he got his nat gas pretty late for a fast arbiter play, so I'm not too sure of what to think about this. What I will say, though, is Scan does need to scan pretty soon to figure out what this is. For now, he's holding on to his scans, I think, in case there could be a DT drop. Right now, I didn't see an eBay. I didn't see any Goliath, so, he doesn't want to blow the scans and then see a shuttle run into his base and have nothing to detect. There's the scan. What does he see? Okay, he sees that it is Arbiter. So Scan has a lot of options here. This is not the fastest Arbiter he could have been facing, so he could flood factories. He could immediately take a third command center. Or I guess he could just make a small attack now if he wants. He did kill 3 goons. He did kill 3 zealots. He does have 4 factories. So I guess it looks like he's going to do like a 4GG type of move where he's going to pressure with 4 factories. However, he's got big econ, so if he does that, I expect him to expand behind it. Okay. Instead, he just takes out the Observer and will expand. I think that's the safest option here. And Arbiter is on the way. Now, generally when you're playing 2-base Arbiter, obviously you're on 2 bases, so your econ is not the greatest. But I think Movie definitely needs to get a 4th base. I don't think 3 base is going to be enough, so hopefully he can send a probe to top middle to get that up and running pretty soon. He saw that the army didn't move out, so he's not under any threat of an attack. So I do hope that the Nexus comes up pretty soon. We see Terran is up in workers, almost up in supply. So Terran's in a good spot. Like, there's no way around it. I mean, Terran is doing really well this game. I think that's the starport at Terran's bottom side of the base. So upgrade's going to be coming in also. Still sitting at just 4 factories, but I imagine once the 3rd base gets up and running, once the science facility gets down and the armory has started, I expect to see, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th factory to come down relatively soon after that. And now, what does Protoss want to do with his Arbiters is the question. Some players are recall players, some players are stasis players. I have a feeling that recall is going to be the winning strategy for Movie. So if I was him, I would just be content with sitting across the map, banking up the energy, waiting for Terran to make their move, and immediately counter recalling. And there's those SCVs that are going to be putting down that factory flood that I was talking about. It's going to be 8 factories versus what looks to be 8 gates, 7 gates. So gateway count is not huge for Protoss, but Protoss does have 70 workers. That's pretty freaking big econ for Protoss. So even though there's only 7 gates right now, we should get up to at least 12. At least. I would also like to see Protoss send a probe to either top right or bottom left, so he can start building some more gateways. If we do come to that point where we do get into like an epic late game battle, we're gonna need to have like 15 to 20 gates where we can flank from multiple sides. And I do see that the probe is going to top right. Got the science vessel on the way, +1 weapon is done, +2 should be on the way. And Protoss is acting like he's actually going to attack. He does have a 40 supply lead. But Terran is well positioned. 1 stasis I don't think is going to be enough to plow through. So I hope that Protoss doesn't actually try and bulldoze their way through. Terran's got their 8 factories done, so even though he's down 30 supply, it's going to shoot up to max in about, 3 cycles? That's pretty much just like a minute to a minute and a half, so there's really not much of a window of opportunity for here for Protoss. Oh, recall, okay. Not very many mines. Whoa, took down that tank immediately. That turret's gone. He critically did not recall the other Arbiter. If he had the other Arbiter here, he could have potentially stasis the ramp. But now, no stasis on the ramp. I think Terran is going to hold this? But either way, this was a lot of damage. Look at the supply, it's 180 to 125. Terran's not mining their natural, obviously. But I will say Terran didn't lose very much army supply. He lost a couple of tanks, a couple of vultures. Well, I think he did. Why is the supply only 110? Maybe I missed something there, but I thought it didn't do as much damage as it did. Terran's worker count's still pretty good, 62, so that's fantastic. I hear something getting shot, but I don't see the Arbiter out on the map. Preuss does have top right. Only one gate, though. I really hope we see, like, 8 more gates go up there. You know, he only has, like, 10 in his main. So it's really not a lot of production, despite having so many workers. He does have top right up and running, though. So it is 5 base Protoss, which is crazy, versus just 3 base Terran. I still don't think Protoss can attack anywhere. The Sim City's too good. The depot placement, the bunker placement. I still think he's reliant on recall, and here we go once again. Observer is going to lead in. He does have EMP, right? Yeah, and he lands it, okay. So that was great. That Arbiter is going to do nothing. But he still has another Arbiter just as a backup, so even though that one's going to be useless, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, I do see a building floating towards bottom middle, but it stopped. So I guess that's not a command center. I thought it was for a second. And goodbye, Arbiter. Now that Goliath, I didn't see it, but yeah, it does have 2-1. So Terran's got good upgrades. Looks like this is going to be a 3-2 game, because Terran's still not maxed. After having used the EMP, probably going to have to wait another minute or two for another 100 energy. So I think because he's going to have to wait that long, might as well just wait for +3. Now I do want to say this, I saw that cybernetics was spinning, but I didn't see a fleet beacon anywhere. So it could be just preemptive upgrades for a later carrier switch. I do see Movie is not mining his nat gas at his 4th base, 5th base, or 6th base. So I actually don't think it's going to be carriers, but another big mine connection right there takes down 3 more Dragoons. And Terran is starting to make a slight move out onto the map. I think the purpose of this is so that he can get bottom middle. I find this base so hard to get myself. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know you could build turrets over there. Okay. So he's in a fantastic defense. Oh my gosh, that is so many tanks. That is an unbelievable amount of tanks. Movie is going to really wish he had more Arbiters now, because he needs like 4 stasises at least. I actually don't think you want recall anymore. He needs stasis. Okay, he recalls down here. Yes, that's going to be a canceled command center, but this Terran army is unstoppable. This is so much stuff. He just needs to lay a huge minefield behind his army and just a move to top left. He's basically maxed. Protoss used a lot of energy. He only has 1 stasis available. Terran has the +2 upgrades, and his tank count is bananas. Okay, that was a really good stasis. Is there enough? There's a lot of zealots, not a lot of vultures left over. No, this is a killer army. Mass Goliath, mass tank, no AoE with the stasis. There's only 1 storm available, and that's it right there. He takes down 2 tanks, but it's still basically a maxed out Terran. But the question is can this Terran army get catastrophic damage done? Protoss, remember, still has top right, still has 5 bases. Top middle's running, top right's running. He's got a lot of gates over there. He still has a lot of arbiters. He just needs to buy time. That's a nice snipe. Does that arbiter that's coming in have energy? He does, okay. And I can see, well, I was going to say I can see red taking down some green units in the center of the map, but no, I do not. I see a lot of green units winning the battle. It's still 150 to 150. Still very close supplies. Oh, another stasis. Okay. There's actually not that much left over for Terran. He needs to get vultures up here, man. Zealots are going to win this battle. Oh my gosh. Because the vultures were slightly too late as all those tanks get taken down. But still, Terran is up supply. Maybe he wasn't too late. He needs to save all these tanks, though. That's for sure. A lot of Zealots coming out, but there's no Dragoons or anything. Does he have another? No, the Arbiter died. Oh, that one tank over the left side is going to shut down that base. And it looks like there's just barely going to be enough Terran to push through 170 to 150 now. Terran is just streamlining so much stuff across the map. He's even resituated a command center at bottom middle. So he's got his 4th base coming up. I see a 5th command center at bottom left also. I think that the Dragoon will win that battle, but I could be wrong. Either way, tanks are knocking on the doorstep, and Movie's desperate because you can see he's counterattacking bottom right, but you're not getting through the depots, man. This base is dead. He's going to lose his main, and he's losing mid-left at the same time. So he's gone from having 5 bases to just 2 because he's never mined his natural at top right. He's now down 20 supply. 25 supply. I think Terran's done it. I don't think Protoss is going to be able to get a consolidated army anymore. He needs to, like, get a recall on top of these units. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay, there we go. Arbiter on the move to bottom right. But this needs to, like, end the game. It can't just shut down a base. Scan is double expanded. Still waiting for that Arbiter that's just hanging around over there to come in here. There we go. Well, it's going to be a recall, obviously. That is a pitiful recall. That's like, what was that? Okay, well, if he has Storm, he can kill a lot of SCVs. Doesn't really get that many. And this base is dead. The natural died, by the way. So now, Movie is on 1 base once this dies. He still isn't mining that natural top right, man. And I think Scan is just going to win this game. I think there's too many losses now for Movie. Power spikes have kicked in. Arbors have all died. There's no more Templars. Army is split up. Yeah, this is an unkillable army. And he lands the EMP. Alright, get out of the game. Another one just for good measure. Time to out. It's time to Naga, as they say. 35 probes versus 60 for Terran. There's something at bottom left. Okay, it's a shuttle bomb. I like that play, even though it's going to get shut down. And this has got to be the killing blow, right? It's 150 to 70. Everything melts. There it is. GG comes out, and that means Scan will tie up the series 1-1. It was just too many losses in the beginning with the Zealot and the Dragoon. It really didn't do much damage, and then Scan was never behind versus a Protoss player that really cut a lot after a 12 Nexus. So kind of hard to just play it out from there. I think Movie had a good recovery, but in the end, the recall just didn't do very much, and Scan could just nail his build. But we're going to be going into Game 3 now, and we're going to be on Troy once again. Okay, so in the top left, we do have Scan. And in the top right, we do have Movie. So Troy TVP. We really haven't seen very many TVP games in the StarCastTV Star League or ASL on this map. My opinion is it's a really tough map to play. It does have a lot of... it does have close spawns, which means timing pushes can be really strong. But if you ever mess up the early game where you get walled in as Terran and you know your assimilators are gone, there's almost no chance of coming back from that. Like, you're gonna have to play with dropships. Every dropship could be a tank because of the gas. You're gonna have to rush a starport. That's a tank. You're gonna have to get the add-on. You know, that's half of a tank. I mean, your build order is just complete garbage if you ever lose your assimilators. And then on top of it, Protoss, you know, generally has map control in the early to mid game of TVP, so they can start taking third bases, kill their own assimilators to prevent harassment. I really think it's just a really, really hard map for Terran, especially if they get to late game and, you know, you have to face carriers on islands. Nightmare scenario. So Scan, I think probably the best course of action here is to do some type of quick attack. I don't necessarily think he needs to do a quick attack on one base like an FD or something, but something like a 4-fact where you have really close spawns so your pushing power is immense. Float your racks with it. You know, you have close spawns so you can get the racks across the map really fast. And the Nexus can be shot from low ground, right? So eventually Protoss is going to have to engage into you. So I think something like 4GG style, 4-fact, 5-fact could be the play. Also, this map does have huge mains, so drops could be very viable. Well, look at this. What's this, a 1015? Okay, so 1015, Movie is really intending to put a lot of pressure on a Scan. He wants to get rid of the assimilators. He wants to force this guy to go siege. He's forcing this guy to build a bunker at his natural ASAP. If there's no bunker and he gets pushed back into his main, he's going to lose the assimilators, which means the game's basically over at this point. And then Movie will, you know, probably double expand off of it and just be in a fantastic position. And I see Scan has pulled off of gas, so far, the only type of early game pressure he can do is going to be an FD. Still no bunker at the natural, but he needs to get that up ASAP. And he needs to get into the main of Protoss ASAP, so that he can see that, hey, this was a 10-15. You have cut a ton for this. And the SCV is going to get intercepted by the Goon. Oh, and it gets pushed back. So Terran is not going to be aware of what's going on. He desperately needs a bunker. I think more than likely he's not going to build one, though. Because as Terran, you know, you only need 3 Marines to stop a Goon. And now you're on a map that has high ground and you have a fast vulture? Whoa, he's attacking. He's pretty dead, actually. 1 Marine, or well, 1 Vulture, 4 Marines versus 3 Goons. Goons are going to wipe the floor with this army. There's no range just yet, so maybe Terran get back to the high ground. The Goons are bugging out a little bit. That Goon is way... Okay, that Goon was way weak. A little bit of miss micro there from Movie, but now Scan has lost all of his Marines, and range is kicked in. He's going to have range now. There's nothing in the bunker. And look at bottom left. He has something being built over there. Is that going to be Proxy Robo or Citadel, or what's this? Well, the bunker completes. Okay. So he's not dead yet, but he needs a lot of SCVs and Marines here, man. There are 4 Dragoons. What is this pylon for? Oh, it's fast DT. I didn't even notice that he had started building that. So 10-15 into DT. This is probably going to do it. I think the eBay just started in Scan's main. But I have a feeling what's going to happen is Movie's just going to attack and, you know, try and make Scan panic. You know, not really focus on building the turret. And by the time he realizes that, hey, it's a DT, DTs are already going to be here. Oh no. 6 goons. There's not good surface area. It falls. Now I've got my eye on his gas. He just spent all of his gas for the 2 DTs. So they are being built. 2 more goons are on the way. The game may already be over though. It's only 2 tanks. It doesn't matter how well you micro here. You're just not going to beat 10. Oh, the SCV's almost walled that tank in. No! That dies and he just immediately GG's. Oh my gosh. So Movie, who I thought was the least likely one to make it out of the group, you know, I talked about it in the beginning. The only way I see him making it out of this group is if he's got some clever builds planned. And that's exactly what we saw there. The Shine game, this game, the Dark Origin game, and the one game that was normal, right? The Nexus first game on Radeon, he ended up losing. But well done for Movie. So actually, maybe this guy's stronger than I thought. We are now going to be going into the losers match, which is going to be Scan versus Hyun. So a Terran versus Zerg. We just had Movie make it out. Pretty surprising to me, but let's see who's going to be eliminated now as we get into our first game. And in the top left. Oh wait, sorry, it's not Scan versus Hyun. It's Shine versus Hyun. We do have Shine, and in the top right, we do have Hyun. So Zerg versus Zerg. This is going to be an interesting matchup. The assimilators definitely make this a very, very interesting ZVZ. This is the type of matchup that I would like to see more often on this map, because all of a sudden, you can't have somebody, you know, power really hard. They must build Zerglings. Otherwise, they're going to lose their assimilator. They're going to lose access to their natural. They're going to literally be stuck on one base the entire game. And because of that, is there any other build you can do on here other than 9 pool? It feels like anything else is just asking to get punished. We see that Shine is going to be the one to go for the 9 pool. Meanwhile, I guess you can do something slightly different, as Hyun is probably going to go for overpool or 12 pool. I can't imagine it being a 12 hatch. Well, no pool yet. Shine going gas, so he's going to be the 1 baser. Okay, there's the pool. I'm sitting here like, okay, I realize I don't play Zerg, I don't play Troy, but I just can't imagine this ever working if you go hatch first on here. You would need an absolute miracle to have the opposing player also go 12 hatch. So it's going to be build order advantage in my opinion, but Shine is going to have the 9 pools. He's going to have more lanes. He's going to have speed faster. Maybe he can still wall in Hyun. I think Hyun will be able to get up his hatch though, as he puts it down at the natural right now. And Shine, okay, for a second I thought he had pulled off of gas, but no, he just took 1 off of gas. And it is speed first, and he is on the move. And Troy, it has those close rush distances. Hyun needs to get down there ASAP. Probably even needs to pull maybe like 2 or 3 drones with this army to make sure that he definitely doesn't lose control over those assimilators, and definitely don't want to let Lings run into his base. Now he also has speed on the way, and he does have his own 6 Zerglings. And now Shine is going to see, hey, this guy's already got a hatchery coming up. He does have Lings. And there's the 2 drones that I was talking about. He definitely needs to win the fight. He cannot just, you know, barely lose it. Like, those Lings will definitely take down the assimilators quite quickly. So that's why you see he's pulled a few off. Now speed is kicked in. Oh my gosh, that already looked like it was going to be a really good surround for Shine. So far he's getting a ton of DPS on this hatch. It's about to finish though. And of course it is going to complete There's no way he's going to cancel it. But hatchery's already low. Okay, there's a little bit of damage onto that Ling. Okay, half the Lings aren't attacking. Okay, but there's still so many. He killed the drone. Okay, but now speed is kicked in. I still think Shine has enough Lings here to win, but I felt like his Lings took more damage overall. Yeah, they took more damage overall, and in the end, they lose the fight. And now, all of a sudden, this is going to be a lot of Lings flooding towards Shine's base. But Shine has his Spire on the way. He does... Well, I was going to say he has the ability to sit behind his assimilators and be fine, but that's going to wall him in on one base. And if you get walled in on one base, is it possible to win on Troy? I feel like at that point, you can just spam spores, and there's no chance of you ever losing. We're going to have the typical Ling battle. Ooh, Shine with high ground. Kind of hard to make that turn into an advantage when it's melee versus melee. Hyun's going to win this easily. Oh, he massacred this. I think Shine's just going to tap. Yeah, he just immediately taps out. It's Troy. There's nothing to fall back on in the mid game. So, easy win for Hyun there. I guess 12 pool is actually the way you open on this map. So, I guess in that sense, if you really do think the opposing player will 12 pool, then hatch first could be a viable option. But as someone that's never played Troy ZVZ, just in my mind, 9 pool looks like a good opener. But in the end, Shine still fell with that opener. So let's go into game 2 now. And if Hyun was to win here, this would be, as far as tournaments go, this would be a massive upset because Shine always goes very far in every single tournament he plays in. I think if it was like a ladder game and you told me Hyun won, I wouldn't think twice about it. But the fact that it's in a tournament, this would be a huge win. So in the top left, 1 game away, we do have Hyun, and in the bottom right, we do have Shine. Now remember, this map was played last season by Hyun and Action, and last season, Action had one of the biggest leads I think I've ever seen in both games in ZVZ, and Hyun still came back and won. So he's going to need to, channel his strength from last season. I think he can definitely do it, but 2-player map is going to be interesting. Still waiting for the day that I'm going to see a 4-pool in Zerg versus Zerg, but I have a feeling that that's just not going to happen. What about the days where players rushed Evolution Chamber for +1 weapon? Those days are also probably gone. But, still have hope that maybe one day, somehow, somebody will come up with something like that. But look at this. This is going to be... what is this? Overgas, I think is what it's called. And from what I remember about Eon Zerg, he is saying that Overgas was a good counter to 9 pool. But does it counter really hard anything else? I'm not too sure about that. We do have actually going to be hatch first. And because the pool is not going to be very quick, to me, this seems like build order advantage for Hyun. But, of course, Shine's going to have the ability to get his fast speed. Make use of that speed to potentially run into the main. And we'll see if he can make something happen here. Is it going to be fast speed or is it going to be fast layer? Well, pool coming down for Hyun and gas also coming down. And you can see why Overgas is definitely a solid build, because look at that gas differential. I mean, he's going to have like 300 gas advantage. That is massive. There's the immediate layer. No speed. Okay. And just now, Hyun is going to start mining his gas. So, literally, 280 gas advantage. That is crazy. That's 2 mutas and a Scourge. That can definitely turn the tides of any fight in ZVZ. Now, first few Lings out in the field. I guess with this build, okay. I'm not sure if I've seen this variation before. Maybe it's just been so long. I was really not expecting to see a hatchery. I was going to say maybe he's gonna just hold his ramp, cut speed this time, and just use the gas advantage to, overrun with mutas. But the fact that he's put down the hatch, I don't know. Now that I'm looking at the drone count, I guess it is pretty solid. So he'll be able to support 2 hatches with this opener. I thought it was going to be a lower drone count than it actually is, since, it was somewhat of a quick pool, but I guess I was wrong. We have the Spire coming down. Lair is probably, maybe halfway done for Hyun? So, sizable Spire timing advantage. However, Hyun does have the natural. That's obviously going to be very impactful. But I have a feeling he's going to need to get an Evolution Chamber up in the near future. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to hold. Now, he still doesn't know what opener this was. This looks like it could have been like an overpool or a 12 hatch. But maybe just holding the ramp gives it away that it wasn't. Either way, the Spire is about halfway done for Shine. Spire pretty much just now started for Hyun. So what is that, like a 30-second advantage? Something along those lines? But there's the additional gas, and we are going to have a Ling Flood. Hyun is saying, no sir, you're going to have to use up that larva. Not going to be able to sit there and build it up and build 6 mutas all at once. But I don't think he's going to get in here. I think this arc is a little bit too strong. But I love the Overlord placement. We'll talk about that in a second as the battle engages. I love the Overlord placement. You can see he puts it over a few of the Lings, and the reason he puts it over there is in case that Ling dies, it's going to be near impossible for Hyun to reposition, or Shine to reposition the Ling and get up a full arc again. So, okay, that was a really good arc position right there, and the Lings get in, but I don't think there's enough for Hyun. Yeah, Shine's going to win that battle. So, he holds, and he's still going to hold. First few mutas are out, so this is done for. And Hyun better have some anti-air. I realized, okay, actually he does have his Spire done. I was not expecting it to be done already. But there are already 4 mutas out on the map. You can still see the gas differential is in favor of Shine. We don't know if these are mutas or a Scourge being built. But I have a feeling that Hyun is also building mutas here. Now, if he can survive, he does have 1 drone advantage. He's putting down, I think, a Sunken Colony. I don't think that that's an Evolution Chamber. But 4 mutas, 5 mutas versus 4. Alright. Slight advantage for Hyun right now. Also has a couple of Scourge. I just saw them get rallied over there. Well, if Shine wants to make this work, he's got to go pretty much right now. Can't really wait much longer because that Nat Gas is kicking in really hard for Hyun. Ooh, Hyun is actually the one on the move. Gonna kill those. Alright, here we go. This is what it all comes down to. 5 versus 7, okay, and the Scourge count is even. Oh my gosh. Shine should easily win this battle. What's left over, 6 versus 4? Okay, goodbye drone, goodbye drone. You're gone. 3 drones gone. And I think we're about to see the GG. There's just nothing here to stop these mutas. He's in the main now. That's going to be gone. Wow, this build is so strong. It's always surprising to me that this build doesn't get pulled out more often. Because every time I've seen it, even in BSL, it always looks pretty strong. 4 workers. Can you win from that position? Normally I would say no, but I'm pretty sure I saw Best win with like 20 probes versus Motive the other day. Scourge connections on both sides, but in the end it's just too many mutas. These are going to easily win. Well, it was definitely not easily going to win. In fact, they were going to lose, but the Scourge connects and kills one of the last remaining mutalists. But the problem is Hyun here has literally 1 drone mining minerals. He has no follow-up. 10 supply in a Zerg versus Zerg. That's one of the lowest Zerg versus Zerg supplies I've ever seen. Wow, did that muta just get forgotten? That could have turned the tides of the fight when it was such a close battle. But I think what's going to happen here is the Scourge is going to scout the natural. He's going to see that this guy has another hatch coming and just tap out. I mean, you just can't recover this larva count. Wow, he actually killed one. And he might kill that one too. Okay, he ends up trading. So that was about as good as it possibly could have gone for those Scourge. He's still down 10 workers. He doesn't even have 10 workers in total. Well, it looks like we're probably going to be going into Game 3. I just can't imagine there's any hope in this game. 3 base, or 3 hatch, I mean, with natural. Is that a Hydra Den? What's that? Please be a Hydra Den. I mean, it's probably an evolution chamber, but we never get to see Hydras in pro level ZVC, so I'm praying here that we actually get to see a Hydra play. Nope, it's an evolution chamber. Well, that's sad. Guess we're still waiting for that Hydra innovation in 2025. Gotta kill an Overlord. I guarantee you that Shine does not care at all about losing Overlords for a Scourge. He is still doubling the supply, doubling the worker count. There are 2 drones on minerals in the main. Another Overlord dies. Maybe Shine just doesn't realize the advantage he's at right now, but now when he sees the main with his Scourge, he's going to know that he's at a huge advantage. Only saw, I think, 5 drones in total up there. So he knows, yeah, okay. He just taps out. Yeah, there's no chance. I guess he finally confirmed that there was a natural, and there's no way he could have won. So no point just continuing to play it out. So let's go into Game 3 now. And as I was saying, if Hyun was to win here, this would be a huge upset. Okay, in the bottom right, we do have Hyun. And this time on the top side, we do have Shine. So Radion, big map. I feel like we've seen a lot of hatch first on this map. Because of that, I want to see 9 pool speed from someone. I even though that overcast looked really good, I don't know how effective that is versus hatch first. So I'm going to say I don't want to see it here. But if we do see hatch first versus hatch first, hopefully we can get an epic one. Very rare to have an epic ZVZ. So that would be nice if we could get a game like that. Got my eyes locked on that mineral income. We're at 96. Overlord for either player? Yes, Overlord for both. So far, no pool, no 9 pool. It's already off the menu. Still have the option for the safe openers like the 12 pool and the overpool. And it looks like it's going to be overgas, but this time it's Hyun doing it. So maybe he's thinking that Shine might 9 pool here, and he just wants to counter it. But instead, it looks like it's going to actually be hatch first. It's going to be an 11 hatch as Shine sends it down to the natural. So I guess we are going to see how strong this is. Once again, we already saw it win on Dark Origin, but can it win on a bigger map like Radion? Can it win on another map like this if the opposing player doesn't Ling Flood and, doesn't do any damage? Guess we'll find out. There goes the pool for Shine. And gas should be coming in just a second. There it goes. And I'm looking at Overlord scout patterns now. It looks like neither player did anything weird. They all went towards their natural direction. No cross scout pattern. No, try and intercept the opposing Overlord and then go to the center of the map. Just everything looked as I expected. We do have once again instant lair, but this time also speed. So once again, Hyun wants to get aggressive with these links. I imagine he wants to get aggressive with the speed. Why else would you get it if you're not going to try and be aggro here? But I don't think he's going to really be able to get much. In fact, I think he should consider canceling it like Shine did. And instead focus on having, you know, more larva available. Because I really don't see how this is going to do any damage. Well, 6 links are out for Shine. I think he has lair coming. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm wrong. But definitely no additional hatchery for Hyun's. So he is going to be in a bit of trouble if this actually is a Ling Flood. It'll be really hard to stop. Radion has a huge ramp. I like how Shine has hidden a couple of Zerglings at the bottom side. Now he's going to come out with a ton of Zerglings. But unbeknownst to him, Hyun's going to not really care. He's going to be able to produce, or not Hyun, Shine's not going to care because he's going to be able to match the Ling count also. Well, Spire is halfway done. And I think Spire has started for Shine. I feel like I see a building in his main that looks like a Spire. I don't think Shine wins this battle, does he? Yeah, he's going to have to run away. That was a little bit aggressive from him to try and engage and potentially try and take that. But he does back off. Well, now Hyun, I don't know what he's doing. He knows that the guy has an hatchery. He knows that he has more production. So he needs to actually tuck tail and get out of here. Instead, he is going to hide a few... No. Yep, he is going to hide a few Lings. But there's a random Overlord on the left side that intercepts it. So he sees more Lings are coming. And with that being spotted, he just back off. But Shine is at a massive advantage. 5 workers advantage in total. Pulls the workers from the natural, though, to make sure that those don't get taken down. I think that was a great move. Really good control right there to get some good damage down onto the Lings. And actually, the Spire had not started. So the Spire is done. And Shine, like, just started his? Wow, that was really good control. He doesn't lose a single drone. Lost almost no Lings. But Hyun does see how late the Spire is. And if he built Mutas, this should do a lot of damage. Instead, he's going to help the Lings get across the map as he clears out some of the Zerglings. But can't he shut down this natural? I think he can. I didn't see an evolution chamber. Well, actually, maybe that was at the natural also. I mean, it has to be. I see a building that's slightly larger in size. Well, it is. Okay, but it doesn't cover the top side. Shine's getting away with murder here. These mutas should be able to pick off those drones at the bottom side. Overlord gonna fall. Drone going to almost die. But in the end does not get taken down. And we do have Scourge, okay. Any connection here? Takes down that Overlord. That's actually a big loss. Hyun is, you know, pretty low on drone count, so having to spend 100 minerals on an Overlord really is impactful. Scourge still sharking for some connections onto the Mutalist, but I don't think he's going to find any. We're going to have a small engagement here, but Scourge Ling is going to push this back, or at least should push this back. Yeah, I definitely like Shine's version of this better. The fact that he just doesn't have any larva to work with makes me really worried that this just can't work. Like, he has a lot of Mutalists, I realize that, but the spores are set up in such a way where he can't really harass the mineral line. He hasn't harassed the main at all. Okay, now he's coming in, and he gets a drone. That's nice. But I'm still waiting to see how Hyun is going to go into mid-game. Oh my god, all the Lings got across the map somehow. They went unspotted. Literally all of them. They're all there, and there is nothing to defend. So it's go time, Hyun. You've got to attack. Lings are going to run in. Okay, there's a Sunken. I didn't realize that he had built a Sunken, but Okay, drones. Oh, Scourge connects. I think there's not too many mutas right now, but there's going to be too many mutas pretty soon. He got one drone. Hyun is not mining. He's paying attention to his muta list right now. And slowly but surely, Shine is going to catch up on that muta count. It's 7 versus 5. Yeah, can't win that battle just yet. That's a good trade. Another good trade. Drone cycle. Okay. Another good trade. Okay, he's losing some drones, but it's not a big deal because he can replace these. Oh, he's getting killing shots on these mutas. How did he target out those weakened mutas? He got rid of 3 of them. Now it's 5 versus 6. Another Overlord dies. Uh-oh. Not gonna lose that one though. Oh my gosh, mutas are getting across the map. Oh no, they're not. They end up backing off. Another drone dies. Okay. The mutas still haven't shown themselves, so you can see Hyun turning around because he's worried that he's getting countered right now. Because he's lost vision of them. So now, this allows Shines to just back off. He can now actually drone up. He can get his nat gas up and running. And be in a fine position. Meanwhile, Hyun, I mean, once again, he's struggling, man. 6 drones. 3 on gas. 3 on minerals. He can barely afford to build even Zerglings here. Looks like that's about 7 mutalists with the trailing one included. And we should see Shine shoot up to at least 7 in a second. He's got, yeah, he just spent 300. How many does he have right now? I think he's probably got like 6, maybe 5. Oh, he's got 7 himself. Okay, well, once these mutalists pop, I don't think there's really any chance that Hyun could win anymore. Unless he has +1 armor, he's just way under a larva, and he has no way to catch up. That is a lot of Scourge. Oh, and 1 connects. Another 2 connect, and now it's just 5 versus 7. Yeah, if he takes this engagement, he'll win. But he still doesn't know that it's just 5. He's taking pot shots from the evolution chamber. Yeah, he taps out. So GG comes in. Hyun, he's going to be eliminated. And Shine, he's going to avoid disaster here. And make it back into the losers match where he'll be able to, once again, face off versus... Did he play Scan earlier? I think it was Scan versus Hyun earlier, right? So this is going to be the first time between these two battling it out. And we're going into Scan versus Shine now, which is going to be the losers, not the losers match, the deciders match. And let's get into game 1. It's going to be back on Dark Origin. Okay, in the top left, we do have Scan, and in the bottom right, we do have Shine. And I remember now it was Scan versus Hyun earlier because I was just losing my mind over that overpool and then building 4 Lings. I just don't get that build. Like, the thing is with it is, you know, I think builds like that and 12 pool can be good because you get the Lings out where Terran has to, you know, pull some SCVs. They have to hold the ramp, but at the same time, when you have 6 Lings, you can leave 2 back, like hold your ramp, and then all of a sudden, Terran can't get in, and they have to figure out, okay, am I getting Ling all in? Is it Spire? Is it Lurkers? But when you only build 4, what are you going to do? Are you going to hold your ramp with 2, and then attack with 2? By the time those Lings get across the map, there's going to be at least 2 Marines out, probably even 3, and you're not winning any battle. So it's like, okay, you're hiding your tech now, but you open pool first. Terran already has multiple Marines. They're going to expand, they're going to build a bunker because they don't know what's going on, and then they're going to go Academy, which is going to blind counter everything you're doing because you're on low econ. So, I mean, that one's just a head scratcher to me. Either way, this is going to be wall in for Scan. He's going to go for the depot racks, and we've got overpool from Shine here. Or is it a 12 pool? I think it was actually a 12 pool. So Either way, it doesn't really matter whether it's an overpool or a 12 pool. What matters is how many lings he builds. We do have gas. Okay, insanely fast gas. So this is kind of what I was just saying. Is if you're gonna, you can, with these types of builds, you can rush gas. You're obviously gonna have low econ, but it is mandatory that Terran does not get in the base. If Terran gets in the base, the whole build is just a catastrophe. So there goes the hatchery at the natural. There's no SCV scouting. So actually, this can be one of the times where this build can be super powerful. Now that depot placement, I was not expecting it to be placed right there. I was actually expecting it to be placed on the bottom side, but he will build it there. And SCV, I think, is barely not going to get here. 4 lings. But you got to hold the ramp, man. Okay, he sees 4. Well, we'll see if this SCV actually... I don't get it. I really don't. So this is literally what I'm saying. What does this do? There's 3 Marines. Terran gets in now. He knows the hatch is late. Your lair is fast, so yes, I realize Spire is going to be slightly faster, but you know it's not like incredibly fast. This was a 150 gas compared to a 2-minute gas. So that means you just have to speed up your own build as Terran by 10 seconds. That's literally cutting 1 SCV, but Zerg is cut way more than that. So the fact that this SCV now has gotten in also and sees that there's no Hydrogen, now he knows that it's low eco Mutalisk. There's no Ling Flood. There's no Lurkers. I feel like this is already build order win for Scan. He just needs to build an academy, get his upgrades, get a second Rax, and he's good to go. In fact, he already has the academy more than halfway done. So his upgrades are going to be really fast. His Marine count is decently high, even off of just 1 Rax production. And he has a wall. Someone in the comments are going to have to explain this build to me, because I'm not seeing it. Well, Shine is recovering his eco pretty well. He's up to 16 workers compared to 22 for Terran. That's going to be the second Rax in... No, it's not. It's going to be an eBay. What? Wait a minute. What? 111? Delayed 111? That's the factory. So this looks like it's going to be Marine Medic, ultra mega fast Valkyrie timing. I'm not sure if I've really ever seen this before. I feel like I've experimented with this myself, but not like this. Not like rushing an academy, getting out onto the map, and then pushing while also teching behind it off of 1 Rax. By the way, this eBay is questionable. It's not much faster than a normal eBay. I don't think actually turrets are going to be up in time. I think Scan's slightly messed up here. Where's the Valkyrie? Or where's the... There's no starport. There's no armory. Okay, there's the armory. Okay, he's building the starport under the factory. So I was like, wait, what? You're lifting your factory, then you have an armory. So what are we actually building here? But I see the starport. Bunkers coming down. Turrets are coming down. Looks like the turrets are barely going to be in time. At least in the natural. I don't think they're up in the main. Yeah, he messed up, man. These 4 Meadows are going to actually deal some damage. Now, there's not that many Marines because it was 1 Rack for so long, but he doesn't have range. He stemmed to get here, by the way, so the Marines are already kind of bruised up. He's lost a lot of SCVs for just 4 Meadows. Gets the armory, delayed. That Marine's gonna die. Oh, he gets 1 Mutalisk, so that's nice, but the Muta count is now 7. I don't know. Yeah, he still doesn't have range. So these Mutas are really, really strong. More SCVs are dying. Wow, look how many SCVs he has. He has almost no SCVs in his main anymore. These Marines are all dying. Yeah, he has to transfer SCVs from his natural just so that he can be efficiently mining. By the way, he does not have 250 minerals. He can't even build a Valkyrie unless it's already in production. Now, there are not that many... Okay, he's just going to run by. I think this game might be over. Okay, he does have one Valkyrie, but he has nothing to deal with the ground. Zerglings are going to take down that turret, and even though there's really not a lot of stuff here, I mean, the Mutas and the Lings should be able to reign supreme. Maybe. Oh, the Valkyrie never got repaired, so it died. I think this is over. I think the Lings are just going to run by once again, and we're going to have an easy victory for Shine. Like I was saying, the eBay timing, it needed to be 10 seconds faster. As soon as I saw it start at 5 minutes, I was like, uh-oh. We're in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. I think Scan's build was okay, right? But he needed to cut his SCV, or even just one. So, a bit unlucky there, and Cruiser has to burb a minute, so we'll take this time to shout out the Patreon for StarCast. If you guys do like the content that we are bringing to you, definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter. The funding really does go a long ways. As you know, it's used to create tournaments like this. It's used to sponsor revenge battles, ultimate battles. It's used to sponsor direct, like, best of threes, best of ones between players. So definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter, or, I think you can support also through YouTube. So consider doing that. And of course, also slam that like button, slam the subscribe button so you can be notified when we do have our new content being released. And yeah, so now we're going to be going into game 2 in a second. And at this point, hasn't Scan picked Troy? Didn't he pick Troy last season? I feel like I remember seeing him pick Troy as his first choice, and I think he got all-in by Zerglings, by Hero, was that right? And we never got to actually see his build, so I wonder if he'll actually try and pick that again. I think actually Terran players don't mind playing Terran versus Zerg on that map. I could be wrong, but we'll see what map choice he comes up with. And Cruiser is back, so let's get into game 2. And as I see the countdown, I see that it's actually going to be Radion this time. So in the top right, we do have Shine, one game away from making it into the next round. And in the bottom left, hoping to get a victory here in game 2, we do have Scan. I wonder if Shine will try and play that build again. It was successful in the last one. It would have been successful versus Scan, the Hyun versus Scan game, if Hyun had actually scouted Scan's position. So maybe, why not try and go for it once again? This time around, Scan is going to go for the wall once more at the natural. I don't think this is an 8 racks. There goes the depot. And a slight subtle thing there that I noticed is actually Scan built the depot on 8 instead of 9. Sometimes I wonder, how do these pro players actually get their depot down at their natural at 54, 55 seconds? And I noticed he got it down at 53, and I was like, wait a minute, dude, how? How did you do that? And it's because he cut an SCV. Well, there's the racks. And didn't we see someone else go for this racks? This was it Sharp? No, it was not Sharp. I remember now, it was C going for this wall in the ASL. I'm like, I know I just saw this wall recently. So this wall is not going to be linked tight. There's going to be a gap between the depots. And we saw this wall get followed up with mech play from I think it was C, right? I don't think that this is going to be a mech play from Scan, though. I don't remember the last time I've seen him play mech in Terran versus Zerg, but I guess it could be. We'll see how he uses this. I mean, I guess it's possible, because we did just see him go for a delayed tech build after seeing a rush gas from Zerg. So maybe, like, when this game was played, he was playing some type of, you know, heavy tech play. Either way, SCV gets sent out. Not going to find him at bottom right. We'll intercept that drone, though, and probably realize that, hey, he's top right. Meanwhile, I actually did not see the gas timing from Shine, but it looks like he's already mining there. And that means that it was most likely the typical 2-minute gas. There's the command center coming down. With the full wall, he doesn't have to build that many Marines. So we'll see if he does go gas in his main, but if you're going to go delayed mech, it needs to be like a 3-minute gas or faster. So the fact that there's no 3-minute gas there, I think that this is going to be probably eBay. There's a 305 gas. This really does look like an eBay timing type of gas. You've got the wall. You don't need to build a lot of Marines to hold. You can just power really hard. So probably rushed eBay, rushed Academy. Yep, I can see the eBay go down in his main right now. Now we do have a sneaky move with 3 Marines all the way around the left side. Of course, with this move, he's looking for Overlords. But Shine, too smart for that, doesn't have any out in the open. Now he sees that there's only 2 Lings. And he knows that there was nothing that scouted the Marines moving out. And he knows that also there's no Overlord on the ledge here. So still Zerg doesn't know that there are Lings or that there are Marines out there. So he may still commit to top right. Now that SCV, I'm not sure if it actually saw the additional hatchery go down right there. In fact, I don't think he did. But what I do know is that Scan needs to get out of the center of the map, because speed could possibly be kicking in the next 15 seconds. And Marine has some of the highest DPS in the game, but it's got garbage DPS when it doesn't have any upgrades. And also it is super fragile. Well, there's the Fast Academy. Already done. I'm gonna go into Stem in just a second. There's the Spire. And this was more of like a 2.5 hatch type of build. Looks like the econ is slightly better than usual. And we'll see how he wants to use this. Is it going to be like an overwhelming amount of Mulus? Is it going to be like a lot of Lings? Try and combo it, try and catch a move out in the center of the map. Versus +1, rush +1. I don't know how well that's actually going to work out for him. Scan, he's going into his 2nd Rax now. This should be a 4 Rax. I've seen players like Rush try and make a 5 Rax work versus stuff like this, but I don't think I've ever seen it be successful. It's just too fragile in the beginning. Of course, if you don't take any damage, then you're going to have a ton of stuff. Now look at this. Shine is already building another hatchery. So to me, this looks like it's going to be a lot of mutas, a lot of Lings, try and overwhelm the army, and try and get this 3rd base up and running. Well, once again, there's this tiny move out. It's what, 6 Marines, 2 medics, just trying to act like he wants to attack, but of course Shine not going to fall for it. Knows that he doesn't have to panic, and he's continuing to power up here. He's got 23 drones, got his 4th hatch almost done. Karen's going to have +1 weapon done in about a minute or so, so he's going to be hitting really hard. Oh, it's a drone cycle. Oh my gosh. So massive econ for Zerg. Karen is sitting back, at least for now. But Scan really needs to figure out what this is, because if Zerg gets away with macro hatch plus 3rd base, I feel like they're going into the mid game in an amazing position. SCV count is not exactly the highest, sitting at just 31, so he cut for this. Scan goes off, and he is going to almost kill that Mutalist, by the way. So that is a very weak Mutalist. And now, the fact that the Mutalist didn't even try and get a volley off, I think Scan knows that, hey, this guy powered, so he's probably going to move out. And there he goes. There's really no threat of these Mutalists. It's only 4. Scan, of course, doesn't know that there aren't any more just yet, but we'll see if he can get some damage done. 3rd gas already up and running. That's crazy. Another scan goes off. Where did he scan? Not sure exactly what he saw. Okay, that's a good catch. Oh, he's scanning top left. It's also a tricky base. You know, I had mentioned this earlier. Radion is one of those maps where Zerg can get tricky. You expect it to be at another main, but it can be in top middle, for example. And sometimes it's in mid right like this. Now, Zerg is doing kind of what I anticipated, which is he is continuing to build mutas. He has a handful of lings, but it's not that many right now. So I don't think he can win a battle in the center of the map. In fact, I know for a fact there's no way he can win a battle in the center of the map. The Marines are way too heavily upgraded. But if he can whittle down the ball, keep this army at bay, and definitely prevent the third group from getting together, then maybe he can overwhelm it. Yeah, Scan's confused. He's like, wait a minute, it's not top left, it's not bottom right. He could still be at a natural. I'm surprised he didn't scan the natural at top left. I guess maybe he has experience versus Shine, or maybe Shine doesn't take naturals that often. Either way, factory is going to be done. This is going to be double starport. And I think that this is going to be Vessels, not Valkyrie. Yep, I see an SCV at top middle, also not able to confirm the base up there. He scans the natural there. He's like, dude, what's going on? I've scanned multiple bases. You don't have Hydrogen. Okay, now he sees it at mid-right. Now he knows that this guy has been mining that gas for quite a while. Jumps on these turrets. He's going to get a couple of Marines for free and some medics. That's nice. This SimCity is really messing up Terran's ability to get back to his base. I feel like we also saw this in the C game. I mentioned that he needed to get rid of that depot. And Scan should definitely consider that. He's losing so many Marines. Holy smokes. He lost a ton of stuff there. Now, Zerg is on the production, man. And now I really hope that he is going for Valkyries. In fact, I think that's the armory down there. There's no way that he can hold the mutas anymore unless there's Valkyries that come out. Armory's about halfway done. Look at how hard it is to get up the ramp. Mutas on top of the racks are going to bleed off a little bit, but this was crazy damage. I think he can even blow up one of the barracks. That turret dies. Yeah, I think just splashing the racks would be great. Killing SCVs now. Another Mutalist falls. That Marine's gonna die though. Yeah, he may get that Rex. Alright, getting dangerously low. Oh, he just jumps on it. Still, what is this? 8 mutas left over? Is this game over? Is this game ending damage? Scan is at 54 supply, by the way. Valkyries have to, like, get off the dream shot where every single mutalist dies. Rex is dead. He's going to potentially take down another one. The Valkyries are out. I just saw it pop out. And he gets off a good shot. But it ends up being all of these Valkyries get... Oh, he's just jumping on the bunker. I don't know about this. These are heavily damaged mutalists. There's still a turret here, and there's still some Marines. That is a lot of mutas, though. Good turnaround shot right there. Soon it's going to be 3 Valkyries, though. And once there's 3, that's when you really start shelling out the DPS. Critically for Scan, though, losing that third Rax really does hurt. He doesn't have a lot of firepower on the ground anymore. He's not able to build it up that quickly. But it looks like, what is it? Shine has given up on the mass mutaplay. I can see that he's going into Hive. He's got his Hydrogen up, so he's going to be going into Lurkers. If you're Scan here, I don't think you have much window of opportunity. Your +1 armor power spike just kicked in. You gotta go now and just pray that somehow the Scourge don't connect like that. Oh my gosh, he almost killed all those mutas. And now all of a sudden, if Shine was to go right, or if Scan was to go right now into Shine's army, he'll probably win. It's just mutas. There's no Lurkers. Look at the supply shoot up. Scan went from being down 30 supply to up 10 supply. Oh my gosh, there's 4 Valkyries, dude. 5 Valkyries. How are you stopping this? He didn't go +1 armor. He's rebuilt his 4th Rax. The mutas are already heavily damaged. There's no Lurkers. Hydras can't just not morph into Lurkers, because if they don't morph into Lurkers, they're going to die to the ground army. I don't see any Lurkers being... Okay, there's some Lurkers being morphed right there. But these overlords are not... Oh, look at the turnaround shot. Once again, gets rid of all of the Scourge. Units from the back. Valkyrie's going to make sure that those are safe. And this third base is going to die. And I cannot believe that we're getting to this point. Scan goes off and only gets off a single lurker shot. Did Scan do it? After taking all that damage? He's breached the third base. Yes, there's going to be Hive soon. Or a lurker, or Defiler soon. Another good focus fire. Those lurkers die. Those lurkers die. Okay, now that was a huge shot right there. He obviously kills a lot of Marines there, but Shine is in dire straits now because Terran still has really good econ. He's at 42 workers. He still kept every single Valkyrie alive. If he goes into 7 Valkyries, we're going to have, like, Overlords just melt. And I don't think there's any world where Scourge can ever connect once there's 7. 5th rack's done. Oh, he just barely avoids those mutas. If he was there a little bit faster, everything would have died. Mutas, they've been spotted. And Valkyries are going to turn around instantly trying to find these mutas. Now, behind this, Scan still has vessels. Like, he's not just all in Valkyrie. You know, it's not a mech switch. He's got vessels coming behind this also. So Irradiate is going to be able to help with the mutas. Irradiate is going to obviously help with the lurkers. Okay, it looks like this army is going to get caught. The Valkyries are still looking for those mutas. Not able to find them just yet, but if he can get them, that would just be such a huge win. He just barely misses them. Ooh, I think he barely misses them. Never mind. Oh, the mutas intercept the Marine, but oh, hello. Goodbye. Well, actually, those 5 Valkyries didn't do as much damage as I thought. But still a lot. Still kills a couple of them. Oh, another interception. Can he finish these off? The answer is yes. Wow, see you later. 6 out of the 12 are gone. Now they're mega weak. I still haven't seen a Defiler yet. If there's a Defiler, I think the game can continue to go on. But right now, Terran is clearly in the driver's seat. He's got 4 vessels. I would love to see dropships now. He's got 4 vessels for Mass Irradiate. He's got the Valkyries to deal with the Scourge and the Mutalisk. Dropships would be amazing. There's some fast units moving out. What are those? Are those drops? Okay, those are more Valkyries. In fact, I thought those were like 5 more additional Valkyries, but those are the original 5. That's going to be a canceled or saved command. Oh, it's a canceled command center over at mid-left. So that's a nice pick-off for Shine, but I still think he's in big-time trouble. He at least does have his 3 bases running, but so far there's no answer to the vessels, no answer to the Valkyries. And now with even just a tiny amount of units sitting out of the natural, Zerg really doesn't have an easy way to get onto the offensive. Just need some fire bats mixed in with this army. Okay, that Defiler's gone. He didn't even kill anything, man. I mean, Zerg didn't kill anything. These Valkyries are just hanging out here. Plague could be juicy if he can land it. Oh, Defiler. I imagine he must have irradiated that. Yeah, he irradiated. He's just gonna kill this base. There's way too much stuff here. That base is gonna die. Oh, he's mowing them down as they come out. And we've got to see the GG now, right? Nothing to save this base. This base is gonna die. We're still waiting for those Valkyries to just be moved into the main and start killing some Overlords. But so far, no movement just yet. Looks like the one single lurker is going to try and save the day. There's no irradiates anywhere. Defiler pops out. There's no links. There's no lurkers. And we have a supply block. Uh-oh. 11 kills on that Valkyrie. That's what I call hashtag value. Look, I heard another Defiler die. Yeah, I mean, Shine's, getting some kills here and there, but there's just way too many vessels. Like, all of these lurkers are going to die eventually. There's no answer to the Valkyries as more Overlords die. Dark Swarm goes down, okay. And he's going to get rid of these Mutalisks. Looks like we're going to be going into Game 3 as that base has been breached and the GG comes out. I cannot believe that Scan won that game. Muta sitting over your racks. First Valkyrie dies. basically half of your Marine medic dies, turrets die. How do you stabilize that game? I think it really just came down to Shine felt like he was in a dominant position and pushed it way too far, jumping on top of that bunker and Valkyrie and turret, and allowed Scan to get back into the game. But now we're going into the final game of the day. Let's see if Shine can do it or if Scan can also make it out. Okay, and here we are on Troy. Like I was saying last season, Scan, we never got to see his build unfold. He definitely picked Troy versus Hero, got Ling all in, and just ended up dying. So hopefully we can see something special here on this map. We do have Shine in the top left and Scan in the top right. In fact, top right is where Scan spawned last season. Now, if you're Shine here, do you again go for an early pool? Do you try and lock in Terran? I don't think you're going to be able to do that easily unless it's like a 6-7 pool, maybe? Where Terran's not going to have any Marines out and you could still have some decent econ. But I think that was an Overlord that got built, so no 9 pool from him. And what is Scan up to? Because he has 150 resources. Well, that is a weirdly timed depot. So is this 10-10-10? Everything looks like it's going to be 10-10-10. Okay, SCV, there's the barracks. Yeah, this has to be 10-10-10, right? Wait a minute, there's an SCV going out. Well, I'm not sure what this is. Because it was a 10 racks. Usually you do this with a 10 gas, especially when you build a depot on like 9.5. But now he's sending an SCV out, and he doesn't have gas yet. He's gone cross spawn. Okay, interesting. Meanwhile, Shine, I think he went over pool? Or 12 pool? Okay, he's built a second racks on the high ground. Drone! Barely misses it. Look at that timing. The SCV was just barely in time. And now he's going to have a lot of Marines. But it was a pool first build. But remember, Shine in the Dark Origin game built 4 Lings. That was it. So there's a possibility that he underbuilds Lings here and could get completely caught off guard. This is obviously mega all in. There's no transition out of this. This has to be an SCV pull. There's no way around it. And it is 4 Lings. Why? This doesn't have nearly enough DPS. Oh, the Overlord. Is it going to spot it? It is so close. He sees it. Why did the Overlord even go this direction? He knows that Terran's not bottom left. He scouted with a drone down there. So he sees the racks in this. I can't even tell you how bad I feel for Skin because the Overlord shouldn't even be there. Now he knows that the racks is there. And guess what? You're not going to be able to survive this. 3 Lings are going to kill 1 Marine and 1 SCV. And now he can just camp that racks. And now, yeah, Skin, I can see he's pulling everything. That's all he can do. That's all he can do. He has no follow-up. He was really reliant on this not getting scouted. And now all Shine has to do is build a Sunken and this game's over. Oh my gosh. It all comes down to somehow the SCVs killing the Sunken. Because you need to keep the Marines back so that they don't die, because obviously all your firepower is there. But he's going to see the Sunken. He has 6 Marines. He just immediately taps out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you gotta feel really bad for Scan there, but hey, you gotta give props to Shine there. Maybe he smelled something was up. I don't really know why the Overlord went over there, man. Like, he scouted bottom left. Why didn't it go? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. So congratulations to Shine. He's gonna make it out of the group in second place. Movie made it out in first. I'm really surprised at that. He had good strategies today, And maybe, you know, in best of threes, like the round of 16, if he can continue to have good strategies, maybe it's really possible that he could make it into the round of 4 or beyond. We're looking at how today went. Of course, Movie took down Shine, Scan took down Hyun, then Movie beat Scan in our winners match. Shine took down Hyun, and then Shine took down Scan. So again, Shine is going to be moving on into the round of 16. And that is going to be today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in Group F.